Wild Minds YouTube channel back with another video. I got my dog Jay Best here.
What's going on?
And I got my dog Eli.
Goodie.
And these are the founders for Hoop4Change. So fellas, tell me a little bit about the process of Hoop4Change from where y'all started to where y'all are now.
What's going on, y'all? Like you said, I'm Jay Best. My dog Eli.
We back, baby.
As far as where we started in 2020. It came from an idea of us loving basketball and trying to continue to impact our community in a positive way. And then not only we understand that a lot of people use basketball or play basketball, and we wanted to kind of get them in the sense of get them in the atmosphere, and then preach certain things like networking and again more community and then just giving back and just finding different ways for us to continue to be involved or reach those other people. And then basketball is just our way to reach those people. And then we want to empower the youth. We want to build community. We want to do a lot of different things here in Charlotte, being from Charlotte personally. So, yeah.
And then just basically stepping out of the norm. You feel me? Like, there's so much we can do with us being a 501c3 nonprofit. Like I stated before in our first interview, and just being creative. Like we not afraid to take risks, and that's what you got to do when you creating something, or if you have an idea. Like it's either gonna hit or it's not, or you just got to readjust and figure out a way to, make it appealing to people. But stand on it too. Like you got to believe in what you're doing. If you're not believing in what you're doing, then it's gonna be whatever it is. And clearly we're doing something right. We're 5 years in, and as you know, like you hear the stories when you not to hear stories, but you hear the saying. It takes 5 years until a business is either supposed to bloom or it fails. And we still going strong. Like this year was the big year for us. Yeah, for sure. We planned better. We was in a better space. We were, trying to not overwhelm ourselves with burnout. And don't get me wrong, like we took a year off. I had to go away for a second and do this military thing, but we still always had Hoop4Change in mind. Me and Jay Best always kept in contact. But we needed that. We needed that space to be able to be like, all right, how we was doing it the first 3 years. Let's figure out how we gonna do it again when I do come back, we're gonna come back strong as ever. So,
So from that point of view, taking a break for Hoop4Change, was it more like a personal reason between both of you founders, or was it like getting the business side of it in order? Was it a mixture of both?
I would say a mixture of both. Personal for Eli simply because he was going to the military, so serving the country, which is I think that's dope first and foremost. And then on the business side of it, kind of like what you were saying, we were understanding our business structure and we wanted to kind of take that. I wouldn't even say it's a year off. We might have been a year off from a sense of like having runs or playing, but it was a year of planning and just kind of preparing a lot better, like engaging our time here, making sure that we talk to these people at this time or we get this scheduled at this time. And I think now that being 5 years in, we had a lot of trial and error in a sense of like waiting too long before to contact certain people, only contacting those certain people and not like a group of everyone. So I think just learning during that time of year off, that was just us revamping it and re-engaging it to allow it to make sense, for this year actually. So, and I think that time of planning, kind of keeping everything under control during that time period allowed us to, be able to stick to our plan. That's been our motto for our year. So stick to the plan, come up with the plan, which that year gave us the opportunity to do, and then follow suit with it. So I think that was the biggest things for us, from the biggest transition from the first 4 years to this past year.
and just to piggyback off what Jay Best said, as far as like on a personal level, like we all got our own lives that we have to, tend to. So even though I knew that me going or starting to serve the country was going to put a big break in what we had going on and what we initially started, but we didn't rush anything. Once I got back, I think a lot of the ideas that we had in our mind, a lot of the ways that we wanted to go about the business was fresh in our mind. Me and Jay Best, the first 2 years, we did everything basically everything. We had a couple of help here and there, but for the most part, we did everything. And when you don't got certain expertise in it and you trying to be a jack of all trades, that could really hinder you in your growth. Especially when you gotta work at a certain pace. You know what I mean? Because we're trying to get these things out there. We're trying to do things. So collaborating with Quiet Minds and bringing Kev on part of the team was a humongous thing for us. I said it right?
Humongous? Tremendous?
Oh, Jesus. They gonna be like, oh, he uneducated. Yeah, I'm going for my masters too. What up? And I brought that word, the humongous. You know what I mean? The humongous. Nah, but it was a tremendous value to Hoop4Change and the brand, and as for Hoop4Change being a tremendous value for Quiet Minds, because they made Kevin open up and made him open up and be more versatile and think more and see things a different way from our perspective. So and then shout out to Obi, one of our web developers. He was definitely a great addition, because even with the website we had now, even though we had the content there, like me trying to come up with it or create something on there, it wasn't gonna be as in detail on how I envisioned it if I didn't have someone come in and do the work. And that's the thing, like you still gotta spend money to, get what you need, and at the end of the day, it was, what was it, money well spent? Yes, it was money well spent, for sure. So
yeah, I would say that year also allowed us to pay more attention to our team, kind of like what E was just harping on, just so making sure that it wasn't just us, allowing us to bring other people on board. That planning allowed us to bring them on board and allowed them to kind of like succeed in their field. And we trust all of our team members, and it's people that we feel, one, they know basketball, but two, like they care about our community, and that's always important to us too.
What's some of the changes that y'all have noticed from the beginning to now, as far as like the business aspect of Hoop4Change?
Where do I start? You want to say from like the hoop runs, or just how?
Like as far as like, okay, like from watching and paying attention and then like being a part of it, you guys have definitely like accumulated a team. Like y'all put together a team to where like now, that part right there, I honestly would say, do y'all think it was more like a trust factor of outsourcing or being amongst others, or was it like just timing, or what do you guys think?
I think a mixture of both. I feel like our business acumen, as far as like holding people accountable. Like even though we got the people that we wanted to do our job, to do the jobs that we needed them to do, but we needed to hold them accountable, but then have them hold us accountable for what we said we was going to bring to the table as well. So, and then having a open line of communication. Like I feel like when you got people who responding every 3 weeks, but you need them to, pick up on it, and you need to rely on them right then and there. I think we've done a great job figuring out who fits that, fits that mold. And granted, like we need a woman's touch. So I know there's a whole bunch of males that I'm naming and stuff like that, but we need a woman's touch. So we're actively looking for ladies who want to help with creative design, or helping other measures like finding sponsors and stuff like that. Like other things that we felt like is out of our reach to bring on board. But that's the main thing I feel like we've done is, like I said, bring contracts into play, not overanalyze everything. I feel like overanalyzing everything kind of hindered us in the beginning, thinking we need everything right away, instead of just saying, no, let it gradually come. We're gonna get there. We're gonna continue to keep making these baby steps, and as we make these baby steps, it's gonna work in the long run. So.
And as far as me, I would say the biggest change that I'm seeing is, I know I keep harping on it, it's just like our organization of it. Like we know where to put our energy towards a little bit more now, and then we know what relationships that we should be trying to be intentional about developing. And I think that's important. And then a lot of research, a lot of ChatGPT, a lot of just answering questions, trying to figure out how to move the right way instead of just moving.
Use your resources. They're out there for a reason.
So yeah, all of it. And then watching other people, so like looking at other websites, looking at other nonprofits, successful ones, seeing what they're doing, and then trying to honestly mimic it in a sense of, you know, imitation is the highest form of flattery. So yeah, that's how I see us growing more, just being more intentional about some of the stuff that we're doing.
I like to look at it as inspiration than imitation, for real. Because we really got our own thing going on, for real. It's more of just like, ooh, I like how they did that.
Yeah.
Let's see how we can do that, but make it us. You know what I mean? And then, okay, what are people not doing right now? What is something that you would not expect from a nonprofit or something, you know, a business of our stature? Let's go about it like this. Let's add this, and then let's just let the people, you know,
And then lastly, I would say defining our roles. So like, not only are we adding the team members, I think me and E defined our roles a little bit more too. So like, we're seeing a bigger push in our social media, for example, simply because it's like we have a system that we're trying to follow every single time instead of just posting. Yeah. So something like transitioning from us just posting just to have it out there to, all right, this is how we post, this is when we post, this is what we post, and then this is what it needs to say. And we're trying to have that kind of like system in each of our areas. So like when it comes to the runs, anytime we're doing anything community related, anytime we're on social media, anytime we're kind of partnering or collabing with people, we're just trying to make sure our systems are like cleaner. And I think that was probably, again, one of our big transitions for it.
I would honestly say, like, from the social media aspect, the things that I've noticed is definitely like the repost and the reshares, like between different social media platforms. Then the YouTube channel also, you guys got people commenting, liking stuff, just asking when's the next run. So the engagement of what's going on, is like y'all are serving something that people are willing to come back to because they feel like they are a part of something. And like my next question for y'all is, how important is the community aspect of Hoop4Change right now? Or has it always been the main focal point of Hoop4Change?
To me, it's extremely important. I am a YMCA baby. I kind of that's how me and Kev met, through the YMCA. And just knowing the impact that it provides to people of color, our children, like our women, the people from overseas, all types of stuff, just the atmosphere that it provides. I want to bring that to Hoop4Change and want to basically extend that out even more. So the community aspect is huge. The reposts, the reshares, the support from those type of people is just it's huge for us. And then I want to be outside. Like I want to be in the community more. We want to be with the people. We want to continue to just grow like our network and be able to leverage our connections any way we can. But again, we all do that for our mission. And our mission is to empower our youth, build communities, and then we want to do that through the game of basketball. So that's that community is huge.
And I'll definitely say for me, because me being an educator, working in the school system, and seeing what kids like or what they need or what could possibly be a resource for them, has driven me to want to, put more work into what we got going on. If people not aware of Charlotte is a booming city. It's booming every day. It's starting to, they doing everything when it comes to just growing the city. So, at the same time you got that, but at the same time when you lived in the city for a while, you realize like there is a specific stigma when it comes to Charlotte. And I'm all about bringing everybody together. How can everybody eat in any type of way? How can we help you? How can you help us? Let's figure it out. Let's not turn our nose up at you just because of this. The only way I would look at you funny is if you had a bad business acumen. But if your business acumen was cool and you're willing to let's share this space with each other, then yeah, we can get anything done. It's just being reliable, being motivated and driven to want to get it done. And that's like I said, that's my big thing. That's what pushes Hoop4Change every day, every season, because we know what we want to do. Like you said, bringing the community together. That's what we're trying to do for real. Just bring a different type of stigma to what already is in the city. And if we can do that, we can partner up with all these different businesses, community leaders and stuff like that, then why not? You know, why not bring a better light to what the city got going on? And it's the hoop state, you know, it's the hoop state. So it's like, if we gonna do it anywhere, it definitely gotta be here. We gotta, you know, set it off here. So
the thing I noticed with like being in Charlotte is sometimes, bro, we are late to like the wave of what's going on amongst the rest of the country.
Right.
So like, this is the crazy thing about like, yo, you don't travel around the country. J-Best, I'm not sure, like, have you like traveled anywhere, like left the city?
To an extent, like always family. Like the furthest west I think I've been is Colorado. But
See, like,
that's really it.
you notice the change when you go to these other parts of the country, but you start realizing like, maybe like the stuff you was tripping on, the things that you was concerned about, is like, yo, this shit really like small as hell.
Yeah.
right.
And then when you do move around, I'm like, damn, bro, I went to an open house with my dog for his kid. The kids in there live streaming, their moms and dad following around with cameras. All right, so I'm gonna walk into my 3rd grade class with Miss Such and Such. I'm like, bro, they telling you what's next.
This is CMS?
Yes.
You ain't doing that at South Pine. Y'all not doing that at South Pine. You put those phones away.
Hey, look, bro, seeing the growth and like, I feel like if you got real value, it's nothing to just like, go check this out. Go over here to this business office and ask them this question. Bro, I feel like sometimes, bro, niggas be trying to like
gatekeep.
Oh my
like, for
God.
what though?
They be trying to gatekeep the worst thing. Like, I don't even want that, bro. Like, that idea's not even fire, bro. Like, you trying to gatekeep some garbage, my boy. Keep that over there. Like, it'd be crazy. Yeah.
I know with like one, I'll say like the Hoop4Change events, like you just gotta be there.
Yeah.
Like it's live. I'm not gonna lie. Seeing how everybody's out there having fun, the music's playing, they kind of, you know, trash talking a little bit. It's competitive. They getting buckets. I'm like, yo, nah, this is live.
See, but this is the thing though. What makes that work is the fact that we try to keep everybody engaged. We want you to network and meet other people you've never met before. This is gonna probably our first time meeting that person, but the way we show them and bring them in is like, listen, you family now. You wanna, as soon as you come to one event, one hoop run or anything, you are an alumni from the jump.
Yeah, and a lot of our people that come to play are educators. So we have a few educators, and I think that's so dope to keep giving back to our youth. So teachers, high school, all levels, middle school, elementary school. I know we have a few referees, just basing it off of giving back to our youth, spending their time volunteering, refereeing the games. We had a few pro players come up, some of the people that played in the Pro-Am, some people that actually ran the Pro-Am. I think that was fire that came and showed out. So it's just an opportunity to meet, not only come to the run and play, because you can do that anywhere, but we are encouraging you to meet somebody that wouldn't come to your run on a normal basis. Because we all have even us, we have our normal run day, but again, this is like an opportunity to keep bringing people to keep it going if you can.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, like even at like our hoop runs, when we've gone to pick up games and stuff like that around the city or private runs around the city, like you may not know certain individuals over there. Like nobody makes that introduction.
Yeah.
Nobody. It's just go and play. Which that's what we're all here for. But at the end of the day, make it like to where people are cool with each other. Like even though we may be competitive on the court, but make it to where it's like I feel comfortable. I feel wanted in this space. When you got people who are coming to events and you don't feel wanted, then that kind of put another stigma on what you got going on. And us is like, now we all about having fun. Yeah. So even though this is, we want you to compete, we want you to be a dog while you on the court, have fun, laugh, listen to music, enjoy yourselves, laugh. Like it's so much you could be doing when it comes to our runs. For those 2 hours, we making it like it's the biggest event on earth. And then you can just come back next week and we're gonna keep it the same energy. Same energy.
The goal for us is, of course, to be able to host our hoop runs in a bigger space. Right now we are in a perfect space. I ain't gonna lie, it's a really good space for us. Shout out to my guy Lawrence and Sharon Presbyterian Church for allowing us to be there. That's where I'm able to coach my girls. We're able to host camps, clinics, and all of that. So again, being in the community allowed us to have a space for us to provide for our guys to be able to hoop at. So it kind of all comes full circle. Ultimately, I think it's just dope what we do.
You guys just recently had a community day. Describe community day to the viewers who don't know about one, that aspect of Hoop4Change, or but they may not know about the actual Hoop4Change ones. Like you can run into somebody who know about the community day, but oh, they do basketball events too.
Yeah.
Or they might run into you at the basketball and like, oh, they got something that I can bring my son or my daughter to where they can feel included also. So could you guys elaborate more on the community day for me?
Yes, so we have, thank you, we have a few programs. One of our programs is called For the Community. The community, and that's how we engage. Like, we have adopted a street in 3679 Harrisburg Road. I drive past the street every day. We also sponsored the South Pine Academy through our For the Youth community program. And then we volunteer, so like we just did our Around the Crown 10K for the program as well. But the purpose of it is to be in the community, and when we host our very own community day, the goal is to get you guys to come to our event. And that way we are doing something basketball related. We talked about hosting a softball league, like softball day or kickball day. We talked about teaching people how to play spades, because I don't know why none of y'all know how to play spades, dog. It's killing me. But
What is it? Is it spade deuce deuce? What's it called again? See, look, I'm still learning.
Joker, deuce,
Joker,
So,
dude. Think of like we
basically,
never playing with him.
The purpose of our community day is to just engage everybody, teach somebody something new if possible, have fun. What we normally give back to our community while we're there as well. So I know our very first time doing it, we made sandwiches for the homeless. Again, just an opportunity to bring people together to give back that may not have that chance. And then we use basketball, kickball, soccer, whatever, to get you guys here and try to teach you something. We also we did the step dance class. I have a yoga instructor. So the community day is just for you guys to come out, experience what it's like to do something that you might not have done before, or learn something new. We're always going to try to have some sort of workshop there, and we're always going to have some type of volunteer opportunity for you.
And it's going to get bigger. Eventually, we want to have vendors come out there. Like, we don't want nothing from the vendors. We want the vendors to be able to just promote their business as much as possible. So all we will ask is have the best customer service and make sure you put your foot into your food, because then people are going to remember you like, okay, I remember them. They was at the Hoop4Change event. You know, they definitely worth trying, you know, their food and stuff like that. So and even like you said, softball events, spade events, like there's so many ideas and so many things we can do. I know we're thinking about possibly doing like a talent show, you know, because there's so much talent filled with the city that we want them to be a part and be like, oh, I got my first shot, or I got a cool audience from Hoop4Change and stuff like that. So just always kind of tying it back to the community in some type of way, regardless if it didn't tie. At least it was an opportunity for them to. They may probably wanted to get out their comfort zone. You know, they never did a live performance before, but then we just gave them that opportunity. So just so many things that we could do when it comes to.
And that's really how we are building the community overall.
I would honestly say with the collective of the things that y'all are incorporating, as far as like, one, like when I notice when people come in for Hoop4Change, everybody's walking, shaking hands, what's up, bro? My name is, and then like, I know for some people, like just talking to me at the event, yo, I would like to do X, Y, and Z, but I don't have this. I'm like, no, there's guys in here that got that specific piece you need, just bring that other part of the thing you have. Or like some people might need the audience. The audience is here, bro. Just literally like, yo, Hoop4Change, I'm here, this is what's going on, and literally like, bro, that teamwork aspect of networking, like, I feel like sometimes it's very difficult or like uncomfortable for a lot of people to like, but it takes time.
Even with us, it definitely took time, like even just asking people for things. I don't like asking people for nothing. Like, I'd rather do it myself and get it out the mud, but you ain't gonna have a good successful business by doing it and doing everything on your own. And you're gonna have to take some no's and be okay with the no's and just be like, all right, cool. Don't take it personal, you know, unless they just being disrespectful. But for the most part, it may be a straight, nah, I'm not, you know, I don't really feel like this aligns with what y'all got going. No, ain't no problem. Because in like 2 or 3 years, you're probably gonna be changing your mind and be like, you know what? I think it aligns. And we're gonna be like, yeah, it's right. Yeah, you're right. 20,000.
Stop.
20,000.
You know what? A lot of my pockets.
Oh,
No, that's funny, bro. So like, what's the like? I'll say like, what would be the next step for Hoop4Change as far as like the direction y'all in? Or do y'all want to like not split that sauce?
We can share on certain things.
I mean, ultimately, continue to grow what we are doing. So, like you said, we want to grow. So right now we have 4 programs, 4 of our main programs. We were looking to grow the hoop runs a lot more, to where we're able to have like a winner court, loser court, and then right now we have a max of 20 people. So let's say we get to 25, 30 people, and in a bigger space, I just think there's opportunity for that. I think, so that's one program. The next program that we're trying to grow with so we're trying to make sure that we clean our street a lot more. You have to clean it at least 3 times a year. We're trying to double that, of course, at some point. And then right now we've had 3 people be out there. We're trying to grow it to, so 3 people, me, Eli, Adrian, shout out to Zoe,
AC.
and but we're trying to get it to where we have 5, 10 people kind of grow out there a little bit more often. And those, again, that falls under the community program that we have. What else? We're trying to grow our team. We want to make sure that we have more volunteers, like we always say, but we need a women's touch. That's the biggest thing Eli's harping on for us right now, and I agree wholeheartedly, because a lot of ladies miss, like of course you're tuned in to the stuff that we are missing. So again, that's another way that we want to grow opportunity. We are looking to apply to some grants. Now that we are in a more professional space, we feel like we are going to be able to take care of that money, and we know what to do with it, and we know how to respond to it, because we've been in situations where, yes, we might have received something, but we didn't treat it properly. So I think that's another area for growth for us now that we have our system in place, we're going to be able to treat everything that comes to us properly.
For sure.
And I think that's something that you had asked us earlier, where you said what changed from 2020 to now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think being prepared is what changed from 2020 to now. So like, because someone told Lawrence, shout out to Lawrence again, he told me that, he said, not only are, like, you should ask for it, you need to be ready to receive it. So that way you kind of know, what to do with it, and then they trust you with it. So that's just another area for growth. Shit, I could keep going.
Yeah, no, I definitely say, like, because I mean, you kind of spoke on like the overall general what we're trying to do, but
Yeah.
as far as like what's coming up, more hoop runs. We realized that this summer we had a successful summer, especially with having you, Kev, joining and working on YouTube. Like anything on YouTube, that's Kev.
Yeah,
that's
shout out,
Quiet
yeah,
Minds.
that's it.
You feel me? Like Kev is doing his thing. He got all creative control. Yeah, he keeps us in the loop. And if we need something that we need to adjust, we'll do that. But for the most part, we let Kev rock out, because this is Kev's lane, And if this is your lane, we want you to have a lot of creative control, because eventually, once we start getting more volunteers that can help them, in that department or in that role, then the more the better. We looking on dropping merch. As you can see, we don't got no merch on this time. We're a little naked when it comes to the merch, but that's because we've been diligently trying to like figure out, okay, when we do this merch, how is it gonna look? From basics to exclusives to maybe holiday posts, like we trying to make sure like we have our whole outline of what that's going to look like for the year or for years to come. And just like I said, I've mentioned before, using our resources. Like, granted, people be like, oh, there's a whole bunch of grants for nonprofits. Don't get caught up in that. If you're going to start a nonprofit, research what you getting yourself into, because you spend so much money on trying to get it up or putting into it, and then you have no real direction. And like I said, I really wish a lot of people would stop saying that, because it's really certain ones that get the grant. So if they properly got all their stuff all in a row, or they've been doing it for a while, or they have a specific niche like breast cancer awareness. That's something that everybody gonna want to give money to. But what we got going on is a different niche. So it's very vague, and that's something that we working on, trying to like be more direct on exactly what we're giving back to, because we understand that founders want that. They want to know what their money's going to. They want to know what void are you filling in when it comes to your causes, or is this just money just going to anything, you know? And even though we can get money anywhere, that's not the goal. We want to have stable donors. We want to have stable sponsors. You know, there's a lot of sponsors that we could tap into. Even sponsoring the pro-am this year, like we sponsored.
How was that experience?
I liked it. I enjoyed the pro-am. I enjoyed the atmosphere that they provided to the community. Getting the opportunity just to see new people, new pros, people that we've never seen, both men and women. And then again, being people that's from our community personally, I think the pro-am was very, very solid for our first year for our sponsor.
Definitely beneficial. And you know, anything that we're part of, we're gonna try to support it to the utmost. So I don't think a lot of people was expecting us to be at majority of the games and the events that they had this summer, but we definitely showed up. The MC put on, you know, when we came in, they knew what was going on.
Hezzy.
Yeah, for sure. So
Hezzy.
it was cool. I definitely learned some things as far as like how to move and how we want our events to be thrown. Pros and cons, you know, but I'm always grateful for the opportunity because we definitely would like to use them sometime down the line, hopefully next year, or possibly, you know, go with a different league, you know, and see how that experience is.
And I don't mean to cut you off. I would say it was new, something new.
Mm-hmm.
We got to, I think that was our first time experiencing or sponsoring something of that level.
Right.
So we got to be in front of a lot of new people. We got a good exposure. So
I've been hearing talks circulating that Hoop4Change will have a team with the pro. Is that possible? Is that a possibility, or?
I'm gonna say it's a possibility.
It's a possibility?
Yeah, possibility.
Okay.
We're gonna keep talking about it as we move forward.
Yeah.
Because we do think it would be fun to kind of take over the team or take over it. Obviously, people are gonna have a lot to say about that, but we love the competitiveness. But if it's in our cards, then yeah, I think we'll still follow suit with it.
How do you describe your success with Hoop4Change from a non-profit perspective and also a community-based perspective? Like, what do you define as, okay, today was a successful day, or today was a day where we got everything knocked out, we crossed all the check boxes?
So for me, I would say I could speak more specific towards the runs, because that's kind of like what was our main focus for this summer. So I would say what was successful for us would be having at least 10 to 15 people come each run, because the money that we make for the runs goes directly to fund children to be able to play sports. And that's basketball, football, soccer, whatever sport they're choosing. But this summer, we wanted to focus specifically for the people playing sports in the winter. So we define success as having 15 people at each run. And I think that was checked off our box. Of course, we want max 20 every time, but I think having it consistently 15 every single time, I think that was a huge goal that we reached.
And us not having to like stress about it. Like
Yeah.
this year was just like we did what we were supposed to do. We promoted it, and then we realized, okay, maybe the first week it ain't booming. You may get maybe one or two, but it's like don't stress about that. Just let it come to you. Some things you just can't control. But then once we realized, like towards like the last week, last few days, that's when you just start seeing them pop up. So
yeah.
just knowing the routine of your operation, if I would say. And I know you just said only, you know, putting kids in sports, especially with families who are not able to afford those sports. But some of that money is definitely going towards our scholarships. You know, at the end of the day, we want to give $500 to $1,000 to high school graduates going into their first year of college. And even though we haven't been able to do that yet, we still actively try to work with schools and trying to get high schools aware of what we got going on, because the more they know, the more they'll, you know, put us into this certain lights where we need. So we're now, when it's coming around springtime, we kind of gearing up for being able to give out that money, for having kids sign up and, you know, vetting whatever qualifications they needed to meet to receive this grant, you know. So that's gonna be one big milestone for me, I would say, is those grants. Putting kids through registration, we hit that milestone already, and we're gonna continue to hit it with more kids, you know. But when it comes to the scholarships, I really want to be able to, you know, look in the camera with a big check and like this.
So yeah, I would say that's the runs. That's one way that we define. That's how we define the runs. For example, we define the community day or measure it based off of tracking how many numbers, how many people we get. I would say, like, cause for our first two, I would say I know we had at least 3 teams. So we had about 12 people play, 10 to 12 people play. And then my family, your family, and then we had some extra people showed up, and then the people that were at the park in general. So we had about like 20 to 30 people show up. So we measured about how many people are there, and then how many sandwiches were we able to kind of get set. And then I know for the first 2 years, it was about 100. I want to say. I know I need to do better about knowing.
That's one thing. That's one thing for sure. We want to make sure we have our numbers aligned, so it's not like we just coming off just saying anything. But for the most part, you gotta track that anyway. So maybe we may not know them off the top of our heads, which we're gonna do a better job at doing. But everything is already calculated and written down. But I know you said, you know, you not. I guess you just track it off of the numbers. We track it more off of the vibe. Like if we had a good time, which usually we have, every time we have a good time, you'd be like, oh, all right, we dap it up, like that was a successful event. It don't matter if it's 2 or 3 people who came. If we have fun, if we said we promoted for what we was gonna do, and it was a cool turnout for our standards, like I said, the vibe, everybody's getting along, everybody's having fun, everybody's laughing, then it's like, well, that was successful, because that's the part of the community day, is to bring the community day together, not to bring the community day, alienate everybody who's there and try to be like, oh, why y'all not doing this? Like, nah, have fun, do your thing. Like, let's laugh, let's joke, let's do all these things that you may not be used to doing when you go to other events, because it may be a, what's the word? Yeah, it may not be, it may be like certain tiers to be in. So, that's my goal.
My next question for y'all is, what do y'all enjoy most about the process of Hoop4Change? Is it the behind the scenes trying to get the business side closed? Is it the community? Is it the hoop runs? Like, what do y'all think?
I have the most fun. That's a tough question, because I have, of course, the runs. I have a lot of fun at the runs, but I think, again, I have the most fun when we can play and we're doing something impactful, like directly. So I would say this, I don't know, the Battle for the Youth is probably like one of my favorite things too, bro. So
it grew on me, because in the beginning I was happy that, it's crazy. I was happy that we had a successful turnout. Of course, like I said, the vibes was there. We had fun, but I was a little bit like skeptical about it, because I'm like, well, it wasn't this. It didn't have this. So what I saw in my mind, it wasn't this. But it was like, bro, you do an event on like what, your second year being in operation, and a lot of stuff that you created, like you start realizing like, oh, we're promoters. We know how to throw on a good event. And it was like, okay, well, yeah, that's how our event went. So then over time, when I kept thinking about it and we'll have conversations about it, I'm like, nah, we did our thing. We did our thing with the Battle for You.
I'm gonna say, I think definitive answer, my favorite thing is, I'm gonna say the runs, because it has all of it. It has the playing aspect, the network aspect, the community aspect of what it like leads towards after. And then I was also gonna say cleaning up the street. Those are probably my 2 favorite things.
That part, obviously, but the behind the scenes, because you never know what we coming up with. You never know what we cooking. So That's what I kind of found interesting because you'll be like, okay, well, that person got this. How could we align? And then we try to figure that out. Okay, cool, boom. They got that. All right, how could we align? And it's just like I said, so many different things that we can do when it comes to our business with other people's business or whatever they got going on. So just networking. The networking has definitely improved. How to network, how to go about it, and in a professional manner, has definitely improved. So that's something that I'm big on because like he's mostly known for the community basketball part. I'm known for the community but business part. And then with us coming together, it makes it a beautiful relationship.
With let's say a new community person or a new community member would like to join, where would they go to find more information on Hoop4Change?
So they would go to I was like 3 or 4 W's. www.h4cfi.com. We have a new website. Thanks to Obi.
Shout out to Obi.
And you can definitely go to our volunteer tab and apply there, and we'll be reaching out to you within a good 48 hours. And what I usually like to do, or what we like to do with our partners or potential people that's aligning themselves with us, is having a video meeting. Introducing ourselves, trying to figure out what are their reasons or interests in wanting to be around Hoop4Change, and just having that type of relationship instead of it just being a process where you sign up and all you do is get emails. I feel like that's tacky. And even though like we're expecting to get bigger in with what we got going on, so I would try to do my best to make sure it's still that same feel. But right now, where we're at, I think just continue to do the video meetings and phone calls or however we got to do it to make sure you feel comfortable with messing with us and doing what we got doing.
We also have the link tree, so all of our social media platforms have a link tree in the bio. You can click the link tree, it'll take you directly to the website that he was talking about. It'll also, most of the time, it'll have like not most of the time, it will have the fill out form, so the different forms underneath it. So whether you want to volunteer, whether you want to sign up to Hoop Run, whether you want to do any of those things right then and there. The link tree also have
donate,
donate,
PayPal, Cash App, donor box.
And again, our Instagram is at H4CFI, and then Facebook, Hoop4Change Foundation Inc.
LinkedIn, Hoop4Change Foundation Inc.
YouTube, Hoop4Change Foundation Inc.
And TikTok. We had Twitter, but we realized it wasn't useful for what we were trying to do in our engagement and stuff like that. We felt like a lot of the community or people that we want to align with are on these other platforms. So we had to give Twitter a break, but it's fine because that's when we was able to, like I said, adapt and evolve into different areas and stuff.
And then if you old school, you can always email us at h4c foundationinc@gmail.com.
Sure.
So